Television's top boxing series makes its first visit of the season to Scotland tonight. There's an enthusiastic audience here at the Bella Houston Sports Centre near Glasgow for an all-action bill, with the championship fight topping the bill once again. This time it's for the Scottish Bantamweight title. It features two Glaswegians, Donny Hood and Brian Holmes, battling it out for that title. And casting his eye over it all, Britain's top boxing manager, Terry Lawless. Now, you're stepping in for Jim Watt, your former world champion charge tonight, who's unavailable for commentary.
Well, he always said I knew nothing about boxing, so tonight I'm going to prove it.
What sort of state is British boxing in as you come to ringside tonight?
Well, we were fortunate to be involved in your last Boxing Night series, and since then we've had the WBC ratings, and we've got Bruno at #1, Horace Noders at 14 and Gary Mason at 18. And for a little country like this, I don't think that's bad. I can't remember a time that's happened before.
And do you think Fight Night's good for the rising of young boxers?
Well, you've only got to look at the kids here. You know, they're so proud to be on the television. You know, they go home and they can tell their pals that they're on the corner, you know, looking at the television, and there they are. You know, they must be stars. It must be great for them.
Right, well, Terry's off now to ringside to join our commentator, Reg Gutteridge, for Fight Night's top of the bill. Donny Hood has won 10 of his 13 fights, 7 of them inside the distance. Brian Holmes has had 13 fights and he's won 9 of them, 2 inside the distance. For the winner, a coveted national title and a step towards challenging Billy Hardy for the British Bantamweight Championship. Here's Reg Gutteridge.
So then it's going to be a hot-blooded contest for the vacant championship, I think, scheduled for 10. And we've got the ponytailed Donny Hood there, the touch of the Barry McGuigan hairstyle, or going back even Jackie Pallo. 8 stone 5 Holmes and 3/4 of a pound heavier Hood. Holmes has boxed in quite a bit higher company, really. Been in with some really good class opposition. John Hyland, Billy Hardy, the reigning champion. And would you believe, one-time bantamweight's a referee as well, Billy Rafferty, local referee. Two good right-hand punch coming there from Hood. I was just going to say, Terry Lawless looks fairly well matched at this stage. You can always be wrong, it's so early to make those judgments, but they're a good stylist and they're sort of made for each other.
It's my first look at both of them, and I've been particularly impressed with Holmes. And just as I was going to say that, he got caught with a blinding right hand on the chin, so it looks like it's going to be another one of those local derby tough fights.
And they get a belt presented at the end of this, would you believe, by the sponsor, who also happens to be the referee. I haven't heard of that one before. Really got the old game at heart. So a minute to go in the opening round, and they really haven't messed around at the start. They're jabbing hard for their weight, aren't they, Terry?
I'm very impressed with Holmes. He's a good jabber, he's a good all-round boxer. Throws. There again, he's got caught with that right hand. It's the same one again.
Well, they don't swap right hands, do they, in the early round? What you mean is that, sorry, but he delivered it in the same
You're
fashion.
quite right.
The same fashion.
The same style punch, that's right.
No, he looks a dangerous puncher, Donny Hood, with that right hand. But Holmes, as I said, has been in such better company than this. I don't mean that unkindly to Donny Hood, but the records of people like Hyland and Billy Hardy, I mean, they really... And he hasn't been down as a professional either, Holmes. Had to take some standing counts, which you don't get in this country, against Louis Gomez in Paris last May. What a good start then to this Scottish Bantamweight Championship. So there's Brian Holmes' record then, and it looks a very physically matured 23-year-old. Boxed for Gallowgate, and he boxed for Scotland against England in '85. He lost on a cut to Sean Murphy.
You've had to step forward. Just don't look at it.
Into the second. And that was a really lively opening round there, wasn't it?
Yes, traditional. I've just been thinking of how many good Scottish bantamweights there's been over the years. And it looks like they produced a couple more good bantamweights here.
Yeah, in the more almost recent times, Peter Keenan wasn't too bad, was he?
No, one of the all-time greats, Peter.
As a newspaper man I see at the ringside there was actually a flyweight, Dick Curry, but occasionally he fought as a bantamweight, so we'll give him a mention. That's him right across the ring there in the leather coat. Well, they certainly haven't done any scouting reports in the opening rounds because although they haven't fought before, it looks as though they actually know each other a little bit. They must have watched each other's style, I suspect. Oh, he's been using right hands. Now he's switched it to a left hook hood. So the one with the better of the records there, Holmes, is well under fire.
Very good right hand again there.
Well, we said that from the off, didn't we, Terry? What a dangerous puncher Hood looks with the right hand punch, and he's just not. He's very static with his head, Holmes. He's not trying to weave or roll away from it.
He's very good when he's making the pace, Holmes. He's not quite so good when he's under pressure. And he's under pressure now.
Into the last minute of the second. Oh, and he really is planting those well. He doesn't need the old 1-2 with the left hand coming out first. He leads with the right hand like that and gets away with it. Good round this for Donny Hood.
And Holmes is starting to look to hold now.
Little bruised around the right eye. Brian Holmes.
He's in trouble
and in
there.
trouble, I'd say he is.
He's really in trouble.
Well, most unexpected, not by Hood and his camp, but by the general so-called experts of the game.
Very pleased with that bell.
Let's have a look at this again now in the replay of this action. It really was heated, wasn't it, Terry? There's good stuff. See, there it is, leading with the right hand and just missed with the left. But that was the one, but it was a really good punch, that.
He picked the pace up from the halfway mark and got right on top the back end of that round.
Have a look at this replay, Terry.
He got caught with one there right on top of the head. That's when you see the legs go all over the place. He did very well to stand up with that punch.
Into the third round. Fair opening by Brian Holmes, but well under the caution in the second round there. And neither have taken account as a professional. So now we'll see durability is going to count as well as power here. Well, he's got to start shifting a bit anti-clockwise, I would have thought, because he started to walk onto the right hand, Holmes, Terry, as he is here.
He's doing what you said, or he's not doing what he's not moving his head. He's leaving his head high, and he's getting caught with everything across the top.
good even match this for a championship battle. That's what I like to see. And these are always stepping stones because the Boxing Board of Control Championship Committee takes all these into account, the area champions, when they're nominating their challengers for the titles. Oh, no, he shouldn't get away with it. Just as well he didn't land with that. There was a backhander coming in there. Now, what sort of tactics does a manager have to be saying to a fellow like Holmes, who has been under pressure a bit, but seems to be coming back here, Terry? What do they call in the corner there?
Well, I think this is a particular contest in which whoever can dictate is going to be the winner. If Holmes can get his boxing together and impose himself on Hood, that's one thing, he does well. But as soon as Hood comes back at him, then Holmes seems to fall to pieces a little bit.
Minute to go in the third.
I would just hope, if I was working with either of them, that they were in tip-top condition, because I think they're going to need at the end of this contest.
Yeah, scheduled for 10.
I think you've already seen why neither of them have been on the floor. They're two tough bantamweights. They're two very tough bantamweights.
Good to see that Hood hasn't gone right-hand happy anyway. He's had some success with it, but hasn't been foolish enough to underrate Holmes' boxing ability. As we come up to the end of the third. So round 4, what a corker of a bantamweight scrap this has turned out. And Terry, I'm not surprised. I said they have met as professionals, but I understand they boxed about 7 times as amateurs, so you can imagine what sort of battles they must be.
They know one another a little bit. See, Holmes is marked slightly under the right eye, and I keep looking at Hood. It looks like he's getting marked the side of the right eye. It's not surprising. This is fierce bantamweight boxing.
Difference is, of course, they're only into the 3 rounds as amateurs, and now they're into the 4th round for the first time in their, what could be their 8th contest. Gallowgate with Holmes in the amateurs and Hollywood for Hood. Remember Hood, I should say, also lost to Sean Murphy in the ABA semi-finals. But all those records don't mean a thing when you're fighting for the professional Scottish Bantamweight Championship. It's a different ball game. Well, as Frank Bruno would say, well, Tell, what do you think of this so far?
Well, it looked like Hood had slowed just a little bit there, which seems to suit Holmes. He's able to get his boxing together at that slightly slower pace. He's picking Hood off. As soon as Hood picks up, then the fight pattern changes. But this is suiting Holmes being just slightly slower now.
Oh, yes, now Holmes got the right hand dig in there. And 2 can play at that game, you must have thought. And understandably a very enthusiastic crowd here in the Sports Centre. Like always, Terry, local good fights always get well supported, don't they? You know, they can say 1 minute, well, the game's dying. You put little local rivals in, and they're all back in the hall again.
Well, they've got to see one another in the street, haven't they, from time to time? It's more important than being champion of the world and going back to Antigua or somewhere or other.
Yeah, exactly. You're champion of Glasgow. It's not a bad championship.
No.
So a quick replay then at the end of that round when Holmes did a bit more chasing and got through with a few right hands to make up. There's the one. That's one of Holmes's best shots. So welcome back then for the 5th round with the corner pads there advertising the local promoters, Alex Morrison and Tommy Gilmore Jr. Both handy left-hand jabbers, particularly Holmes, aren't they? That's what's good about this. The right hands have been coming in a bit fast and furious, but they can jab a bit.
I think Holmes is a good, solid, all-round boxer. Hood, when he's aggressive, is very dangerous.
I know. If you had a bantamweight, Terry, you'd be one of the chairmen of the Who Needs Him club, if I know you.
Correct. If they hit back, you don't need them.
So remember now, scheduled for 10, and just to re-identify then, Donny Hood in the red trunks and Brian Holmes. Glaswegians, really old amateur foe, getting down to, well, brass tacks in many ways here. That's terrific stuff. Good boxing. Getting bumps and bruises going, and not surprisingly here, they're both a bit puffed around the eyes. It's a good fight for a referee to handle. Billy Rafferty quite likes this, having sponsored it as well, Terry. He's not having to really work too hard here. He can just keep watching and scoring.
Well, they should be proud of the fight, because I've seen fights that for world titles, this is put to shame.
There it is again. He actually shows that punch and gets away with it. I'm surprised how Holmes stands for that, Jerry. So there's the countdown clock then for the end of the 5th. Well, for the first time there, Rafferty had to get involved a bit to part them.
You feel all right? Well, we'll need one top now. We see the behind, no more.
There it is, Donny Hood's record. And he's certainly boxing well above himself, as they say, for this one. He's a year older, actually, than Brian Holmes, if that means anything.
Second zone, round 6.
Into the 6th round. Scheduled for 10, remember, the Scottish Championship at the bantamweight limit. That's 8 stone 6 pounds. And they're both just inside that. Holmes, in fact, a full pound inside for what it matters, and Hood a quarter pound.
I think the corner are calling Hood on, and that's exactly what I'd tell him to do, because he's got to lift the pace. and throw Holmes out of his stride. When he does it, he's very successful.
I wonder if at the end of this, Terry, having boxed so much as amateurs now and having a tough one as a pro, they'll say, hey, shall we call it quits now and let's fight somebody else in future? It's strange, isn't it? A couple of rounds ago, I was saying how Billy Rafferty was having a fairly comfortable night. Now he's got to get himself a little bit involved there and stop any untidy clinching, because we don't want any accidental head clashes here, spoiling this with cuts.
Well, quite naturally now, Reg, they're starting to get a little tired, so you're going to get a bit of this close quarter stuff. It's been a tremendous pace.
Yeah, they started at a fast pace, and because like the other one, you can't pinch your wrist when the other man's coming at you like that. He actually should name the boxer he's accusing of holding there, Terry, the referee, to make sure, doesn't he, really? He just says stop holding. But I suppose the guy who's doing it knows all right, doesn't he?
Well, not always, and the referee certainly don't always make it clear. I think they should perhaps stop them and tell them who's holding. Show everybody who's holding. The clever guys you can't see. Starting to get a bit of head banging now.
Yeah, it's close. They're getting really close in now, as you say. They're feeling the pace a bit, and they won't be flying around the ring so much. They've got to stand toe to toe at times. Certainly gets through with his share of whacks there, Hood. Round 7, up and starts as he wants to go on there. Hood kept out on the right hand again. How would you score it at this point, Terry? Put you on the spot.
I would think Holmes was just slightly in front, but very close, and there it's going to be the survival of the one who really is in shape.
Yeah, that's it. It's one who, I think, imposes his will on the other one and his fitness at this stage in this game, when the skills are fairly equally divided. Holmes sort of looks the part at times, but Hood's very effective on the other hand, isn't he?
I think Hood's got to keep an attack going all the time. And perhaps he's a bit nervous about the 10 rounds of really letting everything go. But when he really puts, like he is there, when he puts punches together, he's a very dangerous young man. It does switch the pattern, though, doesn't it, from one to the other?
Yeah, exactly. That's some good inside work there. And I hope the referee just lets him get on with it a little bit. Some referees in Britain, Terry, tend to part them a bit quickly if you're judging by American standards, and if you're training a fighter to go on to World Championships, you want him used to fighting inside, eh?
Yeah, well, we don't encourage it enough, in my opinion, in this country. I think we lack a little bit in body work. And in this instance, I think Hood probably gets the better of the close quarter stuff. I don't blame Holmes for holding while he's getting away with it.
Grab the centre of the ring now, Holmes, and dictate a little bit and make the man move around him a bit with a minute to go in the 7th. And the crowd really on their feet, certainly at the back of the sports centre here, enjoying it and chanting. Oh, he's having a good spell here, Donny Hood.
Very good round this one for Hood. See, once he slows off, then he starts getting picked off again. He's got to sit on him all the time. Hood, then, he's got to sit on Holmes. That's okay sitting here. He's probably a little tired.
Yeah, they're always easier out here, aren't they? Although you've sweated a bit in the corner in your time. And another good round. Just talk us through this replay, Terry.
The referee looked very good there. And again.
Well, he puts his back into the job.
You can see that Holmes is suffering just a little bit there, but immediately comes back with a very good left hook. I'm glad I'm not the referee and got to pick a winner here.
Don't worry, if it goes 10, I'll make you pick one before the end. Into round 8. And it's really been a cracking little Bantamweight championship fight, this, for the vacant championship of Scotland. And Terry Lawless and I are having a bit of a hard job now trying to sort out who we think is maybe winning this. It's that close. Remember, it's the referee's sole decision. They're in good shape, Terry, aren't they? Because the pace hasn't slackened by the 8th round.
Tremendous pace all the way through. But it looks to me that Holmes is the one who's looking to hold every time they get close. Hood is trying to work.
This really is a sort of contest you can sit back and enjoy it, and well, we don't need too many of our words to add to this picture, really. It's that kind of fight, isn't it, Terry?
Well, it shows we must have a good standard of bantamweight. But neither of these guys are fighting for British Championship fights. You know, it's just a Scottish title fight. Yeah,
but it won't be long now, will it? With Billy Hardy and John Harland got to sort out the championship in January.
Well, that's a good standard, isn't it? If we've got 3-4 bantamweights like that, that's pretty good standard.
And there's a minute to go in the 8th. And I'll tell you, the 3-minute durations here, these boys put on some pace. Again, that static head of Holmes, and the punches sort of notice at the back of the hall wall, Terry. They shake his head when they land, don't they?
That's a good left hook. I'm not surprised that neither of these two have been on the floor. They're two very tough young men. Extremely hard fight.
Just closing a little bit to the right eye there of Donny Hood, but doesn't seem to be bothering him at all. I remember Marvin Hagler when he was stopped against Tommy Hearns, and the referee said, "Can you see all right?" And he said, "I'm not missing him, am I?" So now have a look at this replay. And even in slow motion, they seem to be going at a hell of a pace. And there it is, that left hook there that really caused the damage.
Yep. And his knees bent there.
Second zone, round 9.
And we're into the 9th round. And it really is a bit of a touch-and-go fight one way or another. It's difficult to pick a winner here, and you can't read it from the referee's point of view. As you can see, he's right on top of the game. And he wants to pick the right winner so that the belt that he sponsored could be handed over. And it's good to see area championship getting belts sponsored as well, Terry, isn't it?
Well, that means so much to the young fellas. You know, that people don't realise how important that is to a young boxer. There's not much else they can win to show their pals or their mums or dads, and to take those home, you know, it's a terrific thing for them. I get the impression that Hood has got more left, but he's frightened to really let it go. He's frightened of the 10 rounds, I think. When he cuts loose, he's having a lot of success.
See, the problem is, apart from maybe the 2nd round, when Hood really had a clear win, didn't he? Neither of them have really dominated any other round, and that's why it's going to be hard to sort out a winner here. Okay, the composed look and the stance is Holmes, and that kind of catches the eye a little bit, but that's not what it's all about, because Hood is throwing his share of punches, and the quality of a punch with a referee should count along with the quantity. Well, it doesn't matter what we think really now who's going to win it, Jim, because it's all down to Billy Rafferty with 1 round and a bit to go. Terry, but see, now if Jim Watt was here, I'd put him on the spot, so I might as well put you on the spot with being his old governor. What do you think at this stage with a round to go?
Well, I've got to be honest, at the moment, I think Hood has probably slightly got on top, but I think that Holmes will probably get it. I think he's probably the better stylist, and he will catch eyes better. Very, very difficult fight to score.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Perhaps we can have a word with the referee and get him to give it a draw and let him do it again.
Well, it'd be all right if he could show out to us which way it was going. That would help. He's perspiring like a good one now, this, if you'll forgive me saying so, the roly-poly Rafferty, the old bantamweight. And they're calling Hood on, as you would expect from the corner, because he's got to be aggressive. When he pushes Holmes back, that's when he gets the successes there. I'd be surprised, Terry, if there's more than a 1-round advantage here, the half-point system when this is called.
I think this is one of those fights where it depends what type of style you like.
So he'll be pleased now, Brian Holmes, with just the 3 minutes to go now, and this is where the cornermen have got to really pump him up to come out for that last. So his last fight, Brian Holmes, actually boxed well, the kid Somali of Ghana.
You're fucking Britain, you won this thing, you go on over. Now go off here, we'll go and chase him. Keep your hands high and chase him. Don't give him a chance at all. Don't stand up and run. All the time, let's see. Come on, go off here.
So coming out for the 10th and the last round, and Billy Rafferty getting the formal chuckle blood. It's been a hard and interesting and good fight, Terry, but it's been very clean in effect. We haven't seen any stray punches. The heads have not been too bad at all, bumping it like that, has it?
No, it's been a real honest, all-endeavour fight.
And I just say, it's pity there's got to be a loser. It is.
And I just hope whatever the referee does, the crowd agree with him.
Well, if they don't, I'll be under this ring. What a good fast pace. It's unbelievable. Well, obviously, they'll have a go in the last round, but I wasn't sure that they were capable of it, Terry, but I underestimated their fitness here. Well done, both of them.
Well, I think I'd be right in saying this is their first 10 round, wasn't it?
Yes.
Well, that's quite an achievement, isn't it?
man in the middle's really got a bit of a job here. There's no question about that. He knows what the score is because he puts the pluses on the side of each score at the end of each round. He hasn't actually add the points up. He merely adds quickly the pluses. So you have a plus half point for the winner of each round. It certainly hasn't been more than a half point winner, whatever happens. Great stuff, this, and I'm pleased there's been no serious cuts at all here.
This is one fight.
So a minute to go, Terry. Sorry to interrupt you.
This is one fight where you wonder, you know, should you have 3 judges, because it must be a terribly difficult job for the referee to keep these guys apart and scoring at the same time.
But strange enough, most British referees prefer it that way. They like to make the sole decision. What a great last round. And the crowd, whichever side they're on now, are applauding the contest as such and not the individual that they may have come to cheer. They're taking a very sporting attitude, and I hope they do that when the decision is given. So there's the countdown clock. We're inside the last half minute.
One of the better fights I've seen this year. Still trying.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go to Hood for endeavour, Terry, but as you say, you really can't be too hard on it. Now here it is. What are we going to get? Holmes, I think, has got it. No, Hood's got it. Just through that extra volume of punches. I thought that may have been effective. The style that Terry Lawless and I were talking about didn't catch Billy Rafferty's eye sufficiently, because Donny Hood did in fact land a good share of quality punches, and he's even getting congratulated there by the Brian Holmes cornerman, and that's nice to see that, a good finish like that. And as I say, 7 times as an amateur, and now for the Scottish Bantamweight championship, there's co-promoter Tommy Gilmore Jr. in the ring there, who in his day was a rounds boy when Peter Keenan was British Bantamweight champion. He carried the rounds boards.
Now the 2 managers are going to fight.
Ah, well, that'll be the day, Terry. I'd pay to see that.
The 10th round, the referee has scored the contest. Hood 98.5 points. Holmes 98 points.
Well, as I said, Terry, it had to be a half point. That was all that was in it, and that was about right.
I think you've got to give the referee credit there for picking a winner.
Exactly. No fence hitting, because you only get splinters in the backside if you do that. So the chairman of the Scottish Council of the Boxing Board of Control there, Dr. James Shea, is going to present this sponsored belt for the Scottish Championship to Donny Hood.
Let's not forget a very sporting and hard-fighting
there it is,
winner.
To him, Terry, that's like winning the championship of the world, isn't it?
Donny, that was some scrap, that was.
Yeah. It was good. Excellent.
Did you think you won it? There was only 1 round in it at the death.
It was close, but I thought I worked hard enough to get it. It's very close.
When did you think you were going to win that fight then?
I knew I just had to push myself all the way. Every minute. 3 minutes, every minute. I was only boxing for 3 minutes for every round. I knew I was going to win it. But it was close, and it was a hard fight. I enjoyed it.
The new Scottish champion, an excellent fight. Well, staying with the bantamweights.